I was born in Winnipeg, Manitoba. My first time I was taken, I was 1, and then it was in and out of different homes, returned to family, back out again, as it went until I left Canada. Yeah. I was never adopted. I was always with a foster family. My last foster family never bothered. They said they didn't want as far as I can recall, I was in Winnipeg. You know, what areas I wouldn't have a clue. I don't know what I'd classify as my home community, because I've been in New Zealand so long, and I travelled round and round there. I haven't stayed. I suppose the place I'd call home now would be, at this present moment, would be Gisborne, where I would live with my wonderful partner. I can't remember anything of my birth family at all. It's just gone. I don't recall anything from my time way back then to where I am now. So, you know, it's like whether my mind has just decided not to. My foster parents were both Scottish. So living with them was okay at times, but I had to behave in a certain way, and if I didn't, then the consequences were severe. And they had their own son who never got the same as what I got, which was always tough to see. He was being treated differently than me. He didn't have to take the beatings, and so I had the older I got, the worse it got. But then I think when I got about 14, I decided I'm not going to cry. I refused. No matter how hard they hit, when they took the belt out, and it was mainly her that did all the and I hated them with a passion. I'd gone beyond hate. I hated him for not. He could have stopped at any time. Apart from that, I hated the social workers because they couldn't see beyond this wonderful foster family. and couldn't see what was happening. Didn't care. Come in and do their bloody reports. And it's such a wonderful place. None of them were there when things are going on, and then when I was in boys' homes, I never got contact with the foster family. Just gave up. And I was all alone. I wanted to come back to Canada and they wouldn't let me. It's just so. So life with them was just part of my nightmare there. There's things that I can never forget. And I was see, I used to escape. My escape was, because we lived by the beach, was walking the beach. And that was, my love for the beach changed because I was met down on the beach by a pedophile, and life changed for worse. And from then I started to hate the beach. You know, everything that I thought I was gone then, and I was drinking and smoking, and they wonder why. And all I see is a naughty boy. And the foster parents didn't want me, so they sent me into boys' homes with all the ones that have been there with the courts. And then they wonder why I get bad. I spent a couple of years in Australia, 2 years in Australia, and I spent most of it locked up in a boys' home over there. And you don't. I still remember when I was in there, and we get visits once a month. And you sit there and wait for your name to be called out. I'd sit there every month wanting, and they never turned up. Even when it got towards the end of the day, still waiting. And then they wondered why I just rebelled against everything. Well, they couldn't do any worse. No one can do any worse to me. They couldn't. Everything had been done. And so I was left. That was it. From then, I think I was flipping on a death wish. I just didn't care. And if they with other kids, it's just, we played chicken. I always won because I didn't care. I suppose that was the only good thing about it, was I knew I was going to win that because I just do crazy, silly stuff at the time. When I was in a Puni boys' home in Wellington, there was something happened. I think I'd I was in my rebellion mode, I suppose, and I said something to one of the officers there, or whatever they called them, which wasn't that great, so I just knew it was like, I knew it was going to be what it was going to cost me. And that's when he came later, when I'd been locked up in isolation, and told me, you know, and I was no different to anyone there, you know, and that I was an Indian. I'm no different to the Maori boys here. Yeah, so that was about the first time I'd heard it. Right through that time, I really don't have, there's no good memories. I went through life after that hating Christmas, hating birthdays. It takes everything in me. It has taken everything in me just to be able to go through the motions of loving Christmas and events like that. You don't, because there's certain events that just sort of highlight to me how well, how bad it was back then. And those things that I'll never forget. There were things that still torment me. And I have the flashbacks of them at times. I still beat myself up. There was one that I can never get rid of. I'd been raped a couple of times by the pedophile, and I never knew why did I let it happen. And it went to happen again and again, so. When I was, it just came, I was there with him and he had someone else. Why didn't I say something? I should have said something. Sometimes I have to take, well, I take medication every night to help me sleep, so. I sleep better now because I've got a most wonderful woman in the world. Yeah, I've searched for my birth family and oh boy, it's I'm not the most patient person when it comes to things like that, and so I've done it periodically because I get frustrated with things. I haven't got the patience for certain things, and I think even like my partner goes, yeah, I'm her little stress monkey, which is, we find it quite amusing. Yeah. The only way I could explain it better is with my children, and when they were at school, like primary school, they'd come home and say, we're building a family tree, and they could always get one side of the tree done, but not mine. And it's something that's stuck with me that I need to know, I need to pass on to them, and they can pass on to their grandchildren that they've got now. For me, it's not only to pass on to my family, where I came from, how I came to be, but also the customs I want to know for me. The customs side of things is mine. I want it. I think I need it. For my children, if they want it at some time, that's up to them. But for me, see, growing up, I always knew I was different. There was something wrong with me. Well, I don't know whether that's the right way of saying things. But that's the piece that's missing. And I've tried Christianity, okay, that it's okay, but it didn't quite fill the hole, if I can say it like that. I don't think the government would give an apology that I would want. Because they have to be sincere about it instead of saying the supposed words that they want that I supposedly want to hear. You know, and for me, it would take a face-to-face apology with someone prominent in the government, not a piece of paper coming in the mail that's not going to to help me in any way. That's the number one for me. There is no amount of money that they can give me, you know. What price can you put on the loss of my childhood, the loss of family, who I am? Give me back who I am. And if you can't do that, what price are you going to put on it? You know, I can't put a price on it. You know, what are they going to give me? 100 million? Is that going to give me everything back that I lost? No. You cannot give me back what I lost. You know, I think they're giving the money is just a way of the government washing their hands. I think that's what it is, you know. The government is going to wash their hands. We pay you off and then away you go and don't come back again. It's got to take more than just that. They have to ensure well, I think maybe that's up to us to ensure that it never happens again. Something that's not the easiest thing I've ever done, to say the least. And doing this really for others. I'm hoping that that others may come forward as well, you know, and all the troubles and trials. Because I suppose I've left out things. When I went to Australia, I didn't see I was raped on the boat on the way over. Oh. And over the years, I've had I had 3 suicide attempts. And I lived a long time with just wanting to end it. Just waiting for the time. When was it right to do? So I know that there's others that have been out there like me, and it's hard to come. They have to come. And I think also for me, I think of those that haven't made it, especially those that took their own lives. Yes. I feel sad for them. And here I am sitting here, and I wonder, why am I still here? Why? Is there something more for me to do? I don't know.